All right, it's Mike Novak from the Novak Real Estate Team, and today we are talking about the showing partner model. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and get things going. Boom, boom, boom. Joseph and Natasha Hayes. Hey guys, good to see you on here. Salem, Oregon, market is softening but still strong. Yes, I think we're just seeing the beginning of it. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about the showing partner model today. This model has been a game changer for our team, for our family, and for being able to bring some semblance of balance to our lives. When I came to Eric Hatch in 2019, things were a bit of a mess in our world. We had 20 agents. We were a super wide model, and it was not a lot of fun. Our hiring process was to add anybody that had a pulse. And so we ended up with a lot of people that were not a great culture fit for our team. And about 5 of our agents were producing 90% of the volume. So Rachel and I looked around at each other one day and we said, hey, this doesn't feel like a whole lot of fun anymore. And we tried to figure out why it doesn't feel like fun. And we realized that we'd really let people into our sandbox that didn't belong there, that we didn't connect with. And so we were doing only about 180, I think we did 189 units in 2019 with that many agents. I mean, that is a pretty bad average unit per agent if you break that down. And that was really an eye-opener for us. We're like, this just doesn't seem like it's the same team it was a year ago when we were small and powerful and doing 220 units a year. So but we didn't really know how to rebuild it. Like we had all these agents, so what do we do with them? And so we put in really aggressive performance standards where, they had to sell a certain amount of homes per month. And if they didn't hit that, then we would ask them to leave the team because we didn't feel like they were going to be a fit for us and where we wanted to be at on production. So that took about 6 months, and we ended up with the same 5 agents that we had started with. Ironically, the people who had been with our culture the longest and with our team. And so I jumped back into production at that point. Rachel had stayed in production, and we had 3 other great agents as well. So we had 5 of us total in there. And the 5 of us sell 250 homes a year. And the way that we do that is by leveraging this partner model that I'm going to share with you today. So I'm excited to share it with you. I think when you implement this at a high level, it can be the absolute most profitable blessing you can have. You no longer have to choose between time and money as the team leader, as an agent. You can have both. And that's a beautiful place to be. I don't know about you guys, but for me as an agent, before I had a partner, I was always asking myself, like, gosh, do I leave my kids to go show this house on a Sunday? I want to get the sale. I want to help the clients, but I'm supposed to be present for my kids as well. And it's really hard to do that if you don't have the leverage of a partner that's going to work on days that you're not available to work. So as we unpack this today, I do want to invite you to be part of the conversation. I want you to go ahead and throw questions in the chat box as I go through this. This is going to be pretty tactical. There's going to be a lot of information that comes in here. I've got a 9-page process document on how to implement this model that I wrote myself, that I've shared with a lot of our mastermind groups. I'm happy to share it with you guys as well. You may have already received a copy of it when you registered for the webinar, but if you don't have it, reach out to me. I want to make sure you have a copy of that so you can step-by-step implement this model into your business. So just a little background on me. Like I said, my name is Mike Novak. I'm the team leader and a producing agent for the Novak Real Estate Team. We're part of Real Brokerage, and we're located just north of Seattle by about 35 minutes. So we're in a county called Snohomish County. It's quite a mouthful, Snohomish. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Rachel. We've been married for 14 years. Hopefully she's not listening to this. I'm pretty sure it's 14 years. And we got together in 2005. We met when I was a real estate developer and she was a transaction coordinator in real estate. So we have a very deep relationship and a really strong marriage, and we do a lot of life together. Like I said, we travel a lot. There's a picture of us in Switzerland last year. We were able to do that and unplug for 2 weeks because of the partner model we're talking about today. I'm also a big fitness guy. I love lifting weights. You can see kind of picture me lifting there in the squat cage. I really feel like fitness is foundational to mindsets. And so for me, like being a producing agent, when my fitness is in the right place, then my energy is better, and I'm just a better agent as well, and a better father and husband also. So I always tell people with Rachel that I'm a heck of a sales guy, and the 2 best sales I ever made. The first sale was convincing Rachel to marry me. It took 3 shots, but eventually she agreed to it. I'm persistent, right? I handled those objections and got her to the closing table. And then the second one is convincing her to get her real estate license in 2017. And when she did, when we built our team, things really got dynamic quickly. So enough about me. Let's jump into more of the model. So I wanted to kind of give you a lay of the land on how the partner model can help you build your team. This is kind of the career progression for us. Like, how can somebody go and grow with your team? You never want to have a team that's got dead end opportunities where somebody's just going to feel maxed out on what is available to them on your team. There has to be a path for them to continue to evolve and to progress. And that's what this is all about. So you'll see on the left here, this is kind of the entry point, is a showing partner. And on our team, you could come on as a showing partner or you could come on as a team agent, but a showing partner is a much better way to come on because you're going to have 2 years of being mentored by an experienced elite agent, and you're going to get a salary. So we pay our showing partners a $40,000 base salary. And then they get 5% of the homes that they sell. Like, they have to have shown that home to get paid that commission. So it's a small commission, but it's designed to be small. And it's just enough to give them basic motivation to get out and want to be the person that actually showed the property. So when they have those 2 years, their skill set gets developed much better than if they just start as an agent. When agents start, they often don't know anything about real estate. They don't know anything about lead conversion. They don't know anything about showing houses or contracts or anything like that. And they're making a lot of money potentially in real estate, but they haven't really taken the time to develop the skill set that goes with that money. And yes, I am absolutely going to share this. So no worries. Don't feel like you have to take notes on the screens that you see or on the slides that you see up there. I will share this deck and the recording with you as well. So no worries there. So in our world, the showing partner stays there for at least 2 years. There are predefined graduation standards, and those are tangible and they're also intangible as well. So the tangible ones are that they have to be competent. They have to be helping and bringing leverage to the agent they're with, and they have to have brought 12 sphere of influence deals to the team during that 2 years. So as soon as they get to the 12 sphere deals, then they're eligible to possibly graduate. The intangibles are, do they really contribute to the culture? And do we really think this person can be successful being a productive real estate agent that's actually responsible for their own pipeline? So that's kind of it for us. Once they go from showing partner, they go to team agent. Team agents, they can also come on just brand new as well. And they've got lower splits because these people require a lot of mentoring and training. And then they can go to elite. We've got a couple of elite agents in our team that have sold more than 100 homes on our team, and they get very favorable splits. They get help with their partners and things like that as well. So I do think it's important for the team leads that are on this call, think about making sure that you've designed your career progression so people can see very clearly how they can grow with your team and that your vision is big enough to also include theirs. So there's 3 huge ways that a partner is going to bring leverage to an agent and help buy back some time for them. Yuri, who is paying for the showing agent? So that's going to depend from team to team. On our team, we help with the partner's salary for the first 3 months. So we will split it with the agent. The agent pays half, we pay half for the first 90 days. And then after the 90 days, the agent's responsible for the entire thing. At that point, they've seen kind of proof of concept. They feel like they're getting a lot of leverage out of the person, and they typically have complete confidence in taking it on that entire salary as well. So here's the 3 big ways. The first one is leverage. And so leverage is going to take a lot of different shapes and sizes. It's, of course, as the name implies, of course, it's going to be showing houses. Showing houses is super time consuming, especially in a tough market where people don't win the house that they put an offer on necessarily. In our market, it's pretty common to offer 3 or 4 times before you get an offer accepted, which means you're showing a lot more houses than you typically were just a couple of years ago. So on our team, I track a lot of data points. I'm a big data guy. I just love data because when I have data, I make better informed decisions. I'm not guessing. We averaged 11.7 showings per closed transaction last year. So that's time consuming. That's probably 10 to 12 hours of somebody's time at least, depending on if these are one-off tours or if they're doing 3 or 4 at a time, that you're investing into this person. And as an agent, that is tying up a lot of your time. So for me, as an agent, I spend about 2.5 to 3 hours per client, and I'm able to do that because of this leverage with the person showing homes. So the other ways that it takes kind of form and shape as far as leverage goes is sitting inspections, being there instead of you, so you can go back and do more income producing activities, and then key handoffs, closing day things like that. So you want to find different ways this person can bring you leverage. And that's their first and their most important responsibility as a partner, is to bring that agent leverage, free them up to do activities that are going to produce more money for them, whether if that's lead conversion, buyer consultations, listing appointments, whatever it is. It's to keep you in your lane of just doing sales focused activities. This is not, I have to warn you on this, this is not a free pass to go home, turn on Netflix, and just write on the back of your partner. You have to go and actually take this time and repurpose it into activities that are going to make you more money. If you don't do that, you will not win with this model. I want to be super clear about that. The second way that they're going to help you as an agent, database management and appointment setting. So they're not ISAs, but they can be you in the CRM. So my partner is allowed to be me in the CRM. They log in with my credentials. We use Sierra Interactive as our CRM. So they're in the mobile app. They're also on the desktop, and they're helping me with speed to response. So I get a lot of text messages, like a couple hundred a day, and they're in there just engaging with these people back and forth. They think they're talking to me, they're actually talking to my partner more often than not. And it just makes sure that we're able to get back to people super fast. If they have to wait for me to get out of my meetings, it's probably going to be 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening before I'm able to get back to everybody else, which is not good for our clients. It's going to make sure that also, if you have people that are raising their hand saying, hey, I want to go tour a home, and I've never met with you before, that you're not burning that opportunity because you're responsive to them. So it really brings a lot of leverage in that way. The third one, and this is one that a lot of people don't think about, the third responsibility that partner is going to have is training. It is very important that you're making training a priority for them, that over that 2-year span that they're a partner, they're able to really take in at a high level how to do real estate right. And so what we do is we really take a slow drip approach to training. Like, we're not going to just hit them, for the first 2 weeks that they come on the team with a ton of training. We've tried that. I call that the fire hose approach, and it doesn't work. People just get inundated with too much information and none of it ends up sticking. And they're also not experiencing those situations yet. So they don't have a lot of perspective to it. But once they're on the team and once they're going through these weekly trainings, and it's a slower drip, they are starting to experience and they're having context with these different situations that you're talking about, whether it's lead conversion or showing homes properly or how to sit in inspection, trainings like that. But they're actually seeing these daily. And so they're actually able to experience it and then also get trained at a high level on it. So with our team, we have structured partner training where Rachel, my wife, leads it. Is my showing partner taking live Zillow connections. So they have the right, they have the opportunity to earn a spot into lead routing, but what they have to do is they have to get 10 met appointments that are qualified. So we would never put our partners just into portal lead routing. To me, that's a dangerous thing to do. I think it could breed an environment and a culture of entitlement. Like, hey, we're just going to give you these really good opportunities, and they may not have the skill set to actually convert those. So I don't recommend doing that, but you could create a way that they can earn that opportunity through proving themselves and developing that skill set. So for us, it's 10 met. So once they have 10 met appointments, then at that point, we feel like they understand lead conversion. They're going to be able to bring value to these calls. We're not just giving it to them, they're earning it. And then at that point, they can be in it. Scott, if you offer a bonus on leads that close the showing partner. Yeah, hey, great question, Scott. So that's another way that a partner can make money. Like I said, we pay 5% if they showed the home. We pay another 5% if they're what we call the ISA. So it's not uncommon for a partner on our team to get 10 or 15 closings a year, just off of setting appointments. So it's another way for them to make money. And oftentimes they end up double dipping those, where they're the partner that gets assigned to show the houses and they're also the ISA that set the appointment. And that's a huge win for them. And for you, it's massive leverage. If you're a busy agent, I've never met a busy agent that's not willing to give up 5% for an appointment set or for a home that's going to be shown. So when it comes to training, I think you just want to really take the long-term approach, play the long game. Don't do the fire hose approach like I explained that we did. That's a huge mistake. And then also just follow the Hatch 3-step process for training. He's drilled this into us and I love it. It works so well. If you miss one of these steps, the training doesn't stick, it doesn't work. And the 3 steps are you shadow me, like you're gonna come see me in action, somebody that's got a mastery level skill set on what I'm gonna ask you to do. And then I'm gonna shadow you and watch you do it. And I'm gonna give you active coaching as we're doing this. That's the step that everybody misses. And then you're gonna finally go do. We're really good typically at having people shadow us and then setting them free to go do things on their own. But we're not very good at taking the time to actually shadow the person, give them live on the spot coaching as they're going through these different experiences. And that could be, responding to leads in your database. It could be showing houses. It could be all these different things that they need to go through that 3-step process with you on. So talking about the model for just a second, I think it's really important to take a step back and think, what problems does this model solve? And it really solves a lot of the issues that our industry faces. Our industry it has a lot of issues and a lot of challenges to it. If you look at the fallout rate of agents, it's pretty alarming. It's around 87%. I'm sure you've all heard that statistic. It's about 87% in 5 years don't make it. And that's scary. That's a bad place to be. And I think as leaders in this industry, we have a responsibility to come up with a better way. And I think the showing partner model really fixes that problem, because the person has that salary and they're able to have the safety and security of that salary as they're developing their skill set and learning. So it's going to fix the issue of just forcing somebody to be an agent that's straight commission. It's going to bridge that gap for them. People that are working 9-to-5 jobs that have a salary or that make hourly money and don't have a whole bunch of money in the bank, it's going to give them that bridge to walk across and slowly become a productive agent. It's going to allow you to have mentorship too. The agent that's going to be helping them and training them has a vested interest in their success, because that partner brings them leverage. They're only going to be as good as they train them. So, and then of course, the last thing is like what I talked about earlier. You no longer, as an agent, have to choose between time and money. You can have both. It's not uncommon to have a partner and work 45 hours a week and still be able to sell 60, 80 houses. It's totally doable. Last year, I traveled for 79 days. And these were a mixture of real estate, masterminds and personal trips. Like I said, we took 2 weeks in Switzerland, but we travel a lot. It's a really important part of our lifestyle for us. And we would never be able to do that without the partner model. So it really allowed us to still make great money, take exceptional care of our clients, but be able to live the life that we wanted. So super huge. I want to talk about the hiring process for just a minute. So Scott kind of mentioned that, he follows the KW process and also part of the Hatch process, kind of a hybrid, which I think that's an awesome way to do things. This is our approach to it. The first step is to do what we call casting a wide net. And that's simply trying to get the job in front of as many people as possible. We like to leverage social media a lot for this. So I'll do a live about it. Rachel will do a live about it. We'll get our team talking about it, but really engaging into our sphere. There's a very good chance that your showing partner that you're looking for is in your sphere and is not just going to come off of some job board. Putting a job up on WiseHire or on Indeed, that's a very passive way to find somebody. I want an offensive way. I'm going to go out there on the hunt and go find this person, attract them to me. And a lot of the times that means they're going to come from your sphere. I looked around the room at our team meeting last week, and around 70% of our team had to come from our sphere, or they came from sphere of people we'd brought to the team before. So that's really powerful. You're going to know who these people are. And you're going to connect with them a lot better than just some random person coming off a job board. But you want to cast as wide of a net as possible. So you should put it on WiseHire. You should put it on Indeed, which syncs to WiseHire Direct. You can put it on Facebook, things like that. But most importantly is leverage your social media. Make sure you're talking about what this opportunity is. There's probably not a lot of teams in your market that are going to offer a partner a base salary like this and train the person. Like, it's pretty unique, and there's a lot of value to that. But people don't understand it if you don't articulate and explain it. So I think you have to make sure you're doing that so that people know that this is an option for them. And again, it's going to build that bridge for people that normally would not be able to get into real estate. The second step is to research the candidate. And so this is, stalking them on Facebook, it's Googling them, trying to figure out as much about this person as possible. This is really just an elimination step. We're just looking for things to eliminate the person where they wouldn't be a values fit or a culture fit for our team. From there, we do what we call essay questions. So we send the person just a couple of different questions, and we ask them to respond in a thoughtful way to those questions. And then it automatically goes back to the leaders on our team, myself included. And we review those questions and just kind of see, okay, is the way this person talks and communicates something that would fit with our culture or not? We're not really looking for like any technical competency, or we're not really looking for the right answer. We're just looking to see how they talk to people. Like, what is their social awareness and how they're engaging with us? And that's really important too. At that point, a phone interview occurs with kind of our frontline interview person. And then from there, we do references, and we do the 3x3 deep, which is a KW thing as well, where when we talk to a reference the person gave us, we ask them who else they know that we could talk to as well. And then we call those people as well. And when we call those people that are not the direct handoff from the applicant, that's where we get a true picture of what this person is really like. So we try to not ask open-ended or not ask closed-ended questions like yes or no type questions, but ask really open-ended questions that get the reference really talking about the person. From there, we do a panel interview. The panel interview is made up of 5 leaders from our team. And on our team, we require a universal approval from the panel to move forward. So I sit on the panel, as does Rachel, and there's 3 other leaders as well. If one person on the panel disagrees with the person coming on, they're out. So that's just the way our culture works. It's not for everybody. For us, it's just worked really well for protecting our sandbox. And then the final step is validation by department. So that could be going out for happy hour. Like say the person's going to be a partner, you could have all of the partners and all the agents go grab happy hour together, ask them to bring their spouse. You can kind of meet them as well, get to know them better, and just kind of see how they are in an environment that's not in the office. You know, is this somebody I really want to spend time with, go hang out with, have a beer with? Or is this someone I don't want to spend time with? Because that's really a big thing. Like we spend more time with these people than we often do with our family. Andy, yep, brother, I got you covered. Going to share with you the slides. No worries there. I got you locked down. You don't even have to say pretty, please. I shared with you guys kind of our training philosophy earlier. The way that you bring people into your culture is super important. So it's important that it's planned, that it's intentional. It's not just kind of, having them come in when it's, just at random. So I recommend scheduling their start date a couple of weeks in advance so you can really plan properly for it. And then the agent that they're assigned to should really be the one that's leading as much of it as possible. We leverage our other partners for training as well, like especially the shadows. Once you have a couple partners on your team that are very competent, that's going to be a huge piece of leverage where other new partners coming in can simply shadow those people instead of the agent they're assigned to. And there's even more leverage built in there. But again, I can't emphasize this enough. You don't want to skip the I shadow you part. That is so, so, so important. We do ride-alongs as well, where typically the assigned agent will do a ride-along on the showings and just kind of, see how the person's interacting with people. And they'll do that, even 6-12 months after the person's been on the team and showing clients homes, just to see if there's any further coaching opportunities there as well. Talking about the schedule. So, it's important that the partner uses their time in a way that's going to be the best use and that's going to provide as much leverage as possible for the agent. So the way that I've got it set up, and this is not for everybody, but for me, it's worked super well, is I have my partners in around 8:15 in the morning and they do CRM catch-up stuff. So they work on the inbox. They help me get it back to zero for mine and for theirs as well. And then at 8:45 in the morning, we do our team huddle. In our team huddle, that's the whole team, not just my micro team, but we talk about our wins and our struggles from the previous day. And then we also talk about what we're planning to do this current day. Our huddle typically takes about 20 minutes, and it's really, really important to our culture. That's the whole proximity component there. At 9 o'clock, they basically spend an hour and a half working on their active clients. So these are people that have been assigned to them, and they're going to be sending them push listings and communicating with them. I will go over our follow-up cadences for communications based on how ready the client is to go with you here in just a few minutes, but that's when they're going to be doing those things and sending them listings and just making sure they're following up properly with the person. From 10:30 to 1 o'clock is in the internal meetings. So that could be their one-on-ones. We do a one-on-one every 2 weeks with everyone on our team. It's whoever their leader is and them. And then also role plays. We do 3 structured role plays a week. Again, those are led by one of our elite agents, and all the partners get together for those role plays. They're not just role playing online lead conversion, guys. They're role playing things that we're going to talk about as we're showing houses as well, and questions that we get from the clients. Like, should I offer list price? Should I come in under list price? What should my strategy be on this home? Should I be worried about LP siding on this house? Things like that. Like, we will actively role play these home showing scenarios that a partner is likely to encounter, so that they've got it practiced and they're rehearsed on what these answers should look like, and they really know what they're talking about. 12:30, they go back to their inbox one more time just to make sure it looks good and they're cleared out. And then 1 to 7 p.m. is really showings. I don't micromanage my partners' schedules. They don't punch a clock. So oftentimes they will go do personal things in the middle of the day, because very few people want to see homes from 1 o'clock until about 3 o'clock. When people get off work from like 3 to 7, that's prime time for showing in our market. So I have no problem with them going and taking care of some personal things during the middle of the day when they have that downtime, as long as they're fully caught up. And I think it's good to not micromanage that schedule, because this is such a lifestyle position. Like, there's going to be times where they work 7 days a week when you're in the heat of the market, and it's important that they can feel like you're going to give back some time to them when you have that time available. And then it's around 7 p.m. is kind of their last showings, and they're done. At that point, they enter their CSU numbers. The CSU is our data tracking system. And I'll share with you what we track, like what their KPIs are here in just a few minutes. And then that's pretty much the end of the day. They also put in their CRM notes as they're going. I'm a big structure person, so I don't like just having really random notes on things. We have a home showing format we follow that asks the partner to put in what the person liked about the home, what they disliked about the house, Any FYIs about it, if they're going to offer on the home, things like that. So they copy and paste that template into Sierra and they tag the agent on that note, same day it was shown, so the loop on communication is completely closed and the agent knows exactly what the outcome was of that showing and if they need to maybe jump in and write an offer. So that's the schedule that we use. If you're going to have one partner, I really like having like a Tuesday, Wednesday off or a Monday, Tuesday. You want your partner working the weekend for sure. But that's what I recommend is have your first partner be off Monday, Tuesday. You can have your second partner off Sunday, Monday, and third partner off Thursday, Friday. You want to have one crossover day. Like when I had 3 partners, I had one crossover day and that one day was Wednesday where all 3 were here at one time. So we could do trainings and we could do micro meetings and things like that. I wanted to talk about just kind of how the partner fits into the client experience. So we kind of break things down into a level of specialization on our team. We've got ISAs, and those ISAs are solely focused on converting the lead, qualifying or disqualifying it for the agent. That's their job, right? That's all they do. And then at that point, once the appointment's set, that's when the agent jumps in. The agent will go on the listing appointment or on the buyer consultation. Once the person is signed, then now that's when the partner takes over and starts driving things. And when they start showing homes. And then after that, that's when our transaction coordinator steps in. So there's 4 people involved really in every single transaction, and people are getting the benefit, your clients getting the benefit of having mastered each level of this. So our transaction coordinator, that's all she does. So she's really, really good at it because she just focuses on it, and that's where her wheelhouse is. And we don't have agents trying to do transaction coordination or trying to go show houses and things like that. Agents are just solely focused on coaching the client, signing the client, and navigating the process for them. So doing a deeper dive, it's important you understand what is the agent's responsibility in all of this. First of all, the agent's responsibility is to make sure their partner is going to be successful. They're giving them a runway for that. So their training and development is your responsibility as the agent. It's not the team lead's responsibility. The team lead's responsibility is to cultivate the conditions for that person to be successful and for you to be successful as the agent. But as the agent, you really have to own that partner's development. So from there, with the client, you're going to need to set expectations. That's going to be a big part of the job. So we will sit down in the buyer consultation. I will walk people through the roadmap of buying a home, exactly what to expect, and setting hard expectations, especially in our current market that, this is going to be a long process. It's probably going to take 3 to 6 months to find you the right home. We're probably not going to get the first or second home we offer on. It's more likely going to be the third or fourth. So we just have to have a mindset of persistence. So again, I'm setting really hard expectations. The hope is that we always exceed those, but we never want to set false hope or false expectations in that meeting. So that's really the agent's job, is to have that conversation and to really prepare the client. We get them up to speed on the market and what that's looking like right now. So I'll share a lot of different data from our market and what that means to them as a buyer. And then we'll do a super deep dive into exactly what they're looking for. So I want to understand the locations they're open to, and then what I call the must-haves, which are the non-negotiable features. If the home didn't have that feature, they would not be interested in it. And then the nice-to-haves, which is like, hey, if it has that, that's awesome, but it's not a hard stop from us seeing it if it doesn't have that feature. So when I have that clarity from the client, then we're going to have a much better home touring experience. We're going to be able to hone in exactly what we're looking for much, much quicker. We then will also sign the person at that point, which is just sign the buyer agency agreement. We use them on our team. And then at that point, the meeting is over. And we've set the expectation in the meeting. The next step is we're going to start a group chat with my partner, myself, and them. So we're all in one spot. And so they've got access to one of us 7 days a week. How you articulate the value of a partner to your client is very, very important to your client not feeling passed off. You cannot call your partner an assistant. You cannot call them an employee. You cannot call them a subordinate. They're your partner. It's really, really important you use that language pattern, or again, they're going to feel handed off to your assistant. Nobody wants to work with your assistant, but they're totally fine with working with your competent, trained, skilled partner. It is super important. So I will mention my partner's name multiple times during the buyer consultation, and I will explain to them why it's good for them to have 2 people working for them and not just one. I will say, hey, I've got a showing partner. Her name is Destiny, and Destiny's sole job is to make sure that you can see houses as fast as you're available. One of the 2 of us is available from 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night, 7 days a week for you to make sure you can see homes as fast as you can. When we're done with this meeting, I will start a group chat with you and myself, Destiny, like I just said earlier. And if you ever want to go see a home, just text us there and one of us get back to you right away and set up that showing. When you set those expectations, they will not feel passed off. They're going to feel exceptionally well taken care of. This is a huge service you're providing your clients. A lot of agents that I've talked to with the partner model, they have a limiting mindset when it comes to having a partner. They think that the client only wants to work with them. The client doesn't care about you. The client cares about their experience and convenience. When they want to go see a house, they want to go see it as fast as possible. They don't want to wait for you to, wait 2 days for your schedule to clear so you can go see the home. My schedule is busy. If people had to wait for me to go show them a house, they would probably miss out on that home. And most busy agents are that same way, where you've got buyer consultations and listing appointments scheduled way in advance. And so the home tours are super important. They get done quickly. When you articulate that way, the client understands the value of it being added. So I have an exact script I use on the handoff text in this group chat. And again, I'm just doing it from a value proposition side of things. And that's where the partner really steps in and drives at that point. So what does the partner do once they jump in? Well, they will set up an MLS search for us, not for the client, for us, and they'll turn it on to immediate updates. We use Sierra Interactive, and it sometimes lags half an hour to an hour on sending us new listings. And so we don't want to wait for that. We want them as soon as they hit the MLS, but we don't send them to the client. We send them to us, we filter them, we look through them, we make sure they're going to be a good fit, and then we will take those and pass those on to the client. We do still set our clients up on a Sierra search that's going to give them instant alerts and updates, but we want to make sure that we're doing the heavy lifting and really sorting through these listings and sending them hand-chosen listings that we think could be a good fit for them. And that's why we set that MLS search up. But at a bare minimum, go into the CRM and turn on instant alerts and make all the adjustments to the criteria based on the discussion you had in the buyer consultation as the partner takes over. The partner is going to then drive communications from this buyer consultation to getting ready to offer on a home. And so that's going to come from weekly communication. We break clients down into 3 different categories. We've got A clients, we've got B clients, we've got C clients. The A clients we define as being motivated and financially capable. If we feel at any time like we're dragging this person along, or like we're more motivated than they are to get them a house, they're no longer an A client in our world. We will downgrade them to a B until we feel like that they are motivated. The other thing is being qualified. Like they have to have enough capacity to be able to buy in our current market and in the conditions that our market requires, which means having some cash on hand. If you're an A client, you're going to get a call from my partner every single Tuesday. And this is done through the CRM. The call outcome is logged. The call recording is logged, and I'm tagged in the notes so I know it was done. I used to just do text with clients, and I discovered that connecting voice to voice is super important, especially with a tough market. And so clients feel very well taken care of when they hear from your partner every single Tuesday. You could also do that as the agent if you don't have a ton of clients, but we tend to have 30 to 40 A clients per agent at a time, which is a lot of people to be managing. And that's where the partner brings a ton of leverage. So every Tuesday is going to be a call. And then twice a week, they're going to send push listings on text. These are going to be like hand curated listings. They're not just an auto e-alert, but they're picked specifically for this person by hand, by the partner, and they're sent via text, not email. So they know that we're doing the heavy lifting of helping this person find homes. And then of course, they're getting the instant updates on email as well. So that's the A. If you're a B, we define a B as mediocre motivation or financial capacity. So we're not necessarily dragging them along, but they're not super qualified or they're not super aggressive when it comes to getting out and looking at houses. For these people, we will call them every 2nd and 4th Tuesday. You're probably noticing a commonality here that the calls happen on Tuesday. We call this Touch Tuesday. Touch Tuesday is when all the partner calls get done. We also send a B push listings, again, hand curated list of homes on text once a week. And then daily updates on email. So we turn off instant alerts, we turn on daily alerts for them instead. That's the B. The C's are just really far out. Like they've got, like a rescore they need to do on their credit. They've got some barrier to buy, or they're just not motivated at all. Those people we're going to call monthly. That's going to be on the 3rd Tuesday. So you will notice that the B's are called on the 2nd and 4th. C's are called on the 3rd. And the reason for that is so it breaks it up so the partner doesn't have too many calls to make on any given day. They're always touching their A's on Tuesdays, but then it's either a B or a C on the opposing weeks. Excuse me. The C's we're going to call again just on that 3rd Tuesday, and we're going to give them daily updates on email from our auto alerts on Sierra Interactive. The other thing the partner is going to do, they're going to collect all of the information on the homes that they show and send it to the client if they're interested in the house. So it's not the agent that's going to send them the seller disclosure or the seller procured inspection or a map of the property or whatever else they want. It's going to be the partner that does that lifting for them, gets them that information as fast as possible after they've shown them the home. They're also going to do the walkthrough. We do a walkthrough a day or two before the closing date, and that's just a time to go back to the house and make sure that we've got eyes on it before we close. and just make sure everything looks good. And so the partner will do that as well. And they will also hand off the keys on closing day. So if you're an agent and you've got time, I would always recommend that you do the key handoff so they see you in the beginning and they see you in the end. But if you're super busy and you can't get there, then having the partner get there is totally fine, in my opinion, as long as you call them when the recording comes in and it's closed. So that's that. As far as KPIs go, I wanted to talk about that for just a minute. So we track a couple of different things for partners. Again, I'm really big into tracking data, and I think it's important there's some accountability and some numbers that they're responsible for. The first thing that we track is the number of homes that they've shown. Tracking that allowed me to give you that data point I shared earlier of 11.7 homes shown per closing. When you track the data, you know exactly what you can improve and adjust on. So as that number goes lower, obviously the showing partner is getting better at focusing on what the person really wants and dialing that search in and being attentive to what they really need and having these good conversations to get articulate on the changes to their search and finding them the right house. When that number goes up, we've got expectation problems, like, hey, we're showing you a lot of houses we're not offering. So it's important that you track on it. Also, role plays completed, that's a really important step for us. They need to get in at least 3 role plays per week, so they're progressing their skill set, and also offers written. We want to know how many offers they're writing in relationship to how many homes they're showing. So again, that we can measure how good of conversations they're having and making sure that they're helping encourage that person to offer on a home if they actually truly like it. So I recommend having some KPIs for your partners. They don't have to be these ones, but at a minimum, I would track the homes that are shown. Absolutely. So I want to open it up for questions, but I also want to give you some things to implement. So the things I want to give you to take away from this, I want to make sure that if you're selling 30 or more homes per year, that you really strongly consider adding this position. I think it's super important, and it will turbocharge your growth as an agent. If you're doing 30 homes, all of a sudden you're going to do 50 or 60, and you're going to be working less. Pretty powerful. Consider staying in production if you're a team lead. I've seen a lot of agents or a lot of team leaders that are just really aggressive about getting out of production. They think that's the way to go. I disagree with that strongly. I've been out of production. Your financials will take a huge hit because most team leaders are the top producer, the best converter, all these other things. And when you take out your personal commissions, a lot of that is insurance profit. So I recommend building a micro team if you're a team leader. Get a partner or two and build a micro team that doesn't compete with your team, but it just kind of adds value to it and that handles your sphere. So I think there's a lot of value to that. And then get my 9-page document that I shared with you earlier about the policies and procedures for a partner. It'll walk you through how to put all these steps into your business and actually execute what we talked about today. I've got my phone number up on the screen. I love Marco Polo because I get so many Facebook messages and texts and things like that. And so if you can hit me up on Marco Polo with questions, that's going to be the best place for me to answer those for you if we can't handle them today. Let's go to questions. Christine, how many homes per year is a good target for a showing partner? 40 is great. Like if a partner can be attached to 40 transactions, I think that's a great partner. The highest I've had is 52, where one partner touched 52 transactions in a year. So, but Eric and I have had an extensive conversation about this, Eric Hatch and I, and we both really feel like 40 is kind of the sweet spot. Like that's going to bring a ton of value for the agent. And it's also manageable. It sounds like each showing partner is tied to a certain agent. Have you considered a shared showing partner model where one showing partner is shared? Yes, absolutely, Lisa. So you can absolutely do it that way. There's really there's kind of 3 progressions to getting to a full-time partner that you could consider. If you're like completely bought into the partner model, by all means, just hire your own dedicated partner and you'll see the value of it very quickly if you've hired the right person, you train them right. But if you want to go a little bit slower, you can start with what I call renting a partner. And that's where you have one partner on the team, an agent that can rent that partner for just a certain amount of dollars per hour. The team takes care of the salary and they get paid back by the agent for how often they use them. That's kind of like a bite-sized way for the agents to start seeing the power and the benefit of a partner, but not be responsible for the entire salary. The other option you could do is you could do what you just said, Lisa, and you could split that. You could have two agents that then share one partner and they split their salary. And most often that doesn't last very long because the agents see the value of having a partner and they want to take all of that partner's time as quickly as possible. So they end up getting their own partner typically in that scenario. So great question though. If you can afford to, I would always recommend getting your own partner just because the value is so clear. And I assure you that once you get a few months into it, you're going to see that and you're going to have wished you just added your own. But if you just can't afford it, or if you're just uncomfortable with the expense of it and the risk of it, then by all means do one of those other 2 options to kind of build that up in your business, if that makes sense. Any other questions? Going once. Going twice. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out today. I will send out a recording of this. I will also send out the slides. And it was great to hang out with you guys. Tony, thank you so much. Yes. Awesome, Tony. Good to hang with you. Katie, you were so welcome. Good to hang with you guys. Scott, you bet, brother. Bye, Ann. Catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your week.